Good morning, everybody. We're back. John Delarose here, the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction, author of the award-winning novel For Steam and Country, the very popular Star Realms Rescue Run, and very popular Stars Entwined. All right. I'm also a contributor to the Federalist as a journalist and Milo's Dangerous.com. Please hit the like button so we need to get this going on the algorithm so a lot of people see this, because I think a lot of people don't know, one, who Faith Goldy is, and second, what happened with Patreon. So sharing this around actually does help. Please do so. So yeah, this is interesting. So I've actually worked for the past 6 months or so building up my Patreon support. It was getting to a point where it actually was providing good income, and so this is going to be a little bit of a challenge, to sort of restart everything from scratch. But we have to do so. This is a very important thing to do. Patreon, if you don't know, 2 days ago, or maybe a day ago, banned Faith Goldy. She is a Christian journalist out of Canada, and she goes and does really good reporting work, really good informative work that, on an independent level that you won't see from the general media. She posted up a video where she actually went to an Antifa rally in Canada, and they called her names, they swore at her, they spit on her, just for showing up and being there and trying to report the news. Literally spit on her in the video. And Patreon claimed the video violated their community standards and shut down her account, shut down her source of revenue and everything. They didn't say how it did. It doesn't make any sense. I think she criticized Islam in the video or something like that. But it was very tame. Faith Goldy is not an extremist. Faith Goldy is a very moderate person as it goes. And so the fact that Patreon would come after somebody on this level means we have to do something about it as a community. It's like the NFL situation, which Fox Day mentioned the other day. The NFL showed that they hated America, showed that they hated a large portion of the American community and the watching viewership community. And what happened was everybody tuned out. We dropped their ratings by 20-30% just by tuning out and not watching. And we made a change within the NFL because of this. The NFL now, I'm going to be shifting to free starter. I'll be getting to that in a second. Thanks, Edwin. The NFL is a problem, and they were telling their audience that they hated them. And now Patreon's doing the same. So we support different creators on Patreon, and it's really a shame what's going down, because we can't fund this company that's going to try to deplatform and try to demonetize us for their political activism. It's a good point. Yeah. So yesterday we did have that judge who said that Trump can't block Twitter. It's a little bit of fake news, though, because they didn't actually put an injunction against Trump, so he can't. There's nothing legal that actually has to change. He just said that it's bad, basically. So it was a total virtue signal move that doesn't actually have any legal bearing, and so that's going to be the problem with that. But they are deplatforming people, and these are freedom. These are definitely freedom of speech issues. People on our side often say, well, it's a corporation, so they should have the right to do whatever they want. But when corporations act bad, and they act bad consistently to one side, we don't have freedom of speech in this country. We don't have freedom to actually have a dialogue like this. We don't have freedom to just have our own platforms, create our own art, create our own news. Everything ends up being approved by the corporation for the corporation. And that is exactly why we have to fight this. So, yeah, I was doing pretty well on Patreon, and I don't want to have them get any portion of my revenue any longer. This is going to be in solidarity with Faith Goldy. As I said, I don't know her. I've watched a few of her videos. I don't have any connection with her, but you know what? It's time to act. So it's going to be the same thing. Marvel Comics, same thing. I've not bought a Marvel comic in years, other than John Malin's comic. When he was on cable for a second, and it's because of the same thing. They want to tell us that, we are bad people, and they want to preach at us at that. And then they also want to, blacklist us. Same situation with Marvel. So we shouldn't be patronizing their companies. And that's what it comes down to. So FreeStarter's been a pretty good free speech platform. I just set up my FreeStarter just now. I'll show it to you guys. Yeah, $0 raised. So I just started things back up. So this is going to be oh, hey, I got someone. Thank you, whoever did this. Appreciate it. That was pretty quick. So I just put this up. We got our dollar. I'm actually going to be changing sort of the mode of what we're doing. We're going to have an actual tangible goal, which is going to be $360 in monthly pledges. So what that's going to be allow me to do is it'll be a creation of a weekly webcomic, which that covers the line art costs only, by the way, at a weekly webcomic level. But that's enough. We'll get that going. And then also I'd like to do like a weekly podcast for the supporters here. And that's going to be the big difference. So I've been toying around doing this with a friend of mine who's a wonderful culture warrior herself. She's kicking butt. And we need to pay a professional editor. So that's going to cost about $160 to pay a professional editor to make a really nice podcast every month, which I'll only put up for people who subscribe here. And that's going to be the difference. So I didn't have that before. The webcomics weren't up before and everybody who's at just $1 will get that. So we're making a really low barrier to entry in order to get the numbers up. I want this to be a success to just really stick it to Patreon, and that's going to be my goal here. So everything else is kind of the same. We got $3, which is I do a short story every month. This is a lot of work and a lot of hours, so it's a very good deal for this. $5, I give draft chapters, outlines, and stuff from my novels, which are very popular. Those are coming out. You see, this is the first backer was down for that. I'm simplifying a little bit, getting rid of a couple of these. Next is going to be, if you want advance copies of my novels, there's the $10 a month. I had a few of these going down. People liked this one a lot. And then the $20 is going to be our top one for now, which is, we're going to give out some physical copies and things like that in addition to all this. And thank you, Edwin. I appreciate your reading there. All right. So this is what we're doing. We're doing it on FreeStarter for now. FreeStarter seems to have a pretty good thing. They don't have as slick of a content delivery system as Patreon does. So I'm going to have to improvise there a little bit. But you know what? It's worth it not to give things to Patreon. And their fees are a little higher. Their fees are 15%. So keep that in mind that they're going to be taking a little bit more of the pot than Patreon used to. But I think that's important and a good thing, to support companies that are startups that are basically fighting back against this whole system that Patreon's trying to do to demonetize us. We're going to get a lot more of this going down. The deplatforming is going to be happening a lot more. We've seen it from conventions with science fiction authors. We've seen it from the Twitter bannings and the new Twitter rules where they're going to be basically giving you a score of how mean you are, basically, and then hiding your comments and the like if you have the algorithm. They're basically saying that they're going to shadow ban conservatives, but openly now. So it's going to be a big problem there, and they're doing all this to influence the 2018 election. That's what this is all about. They want to deplatform this cultural movement because we are making waves and they're scared. So the next step is banking, of course, and Patreon is sort of a banking system, and it's all about with Patreon. They know that they can stop some artists, they can stop the news generators somehow. At least they can try to, and so that's what this is about, and this is what they're trying to do in order to stop our wave, because our wave is growing so fast, guys. It's going so fast. We had our Jawbreakers comic, which just came out a week ago. We're making news. We're making the news. My articles are like #1 on the Federalist when they come out. That's amazing. I never would have imagined that. So Cobra Kai tier. Yeah, strike first, strike hard, no mercy. I really should. It's pretty funny. And thank you for moving over, guys. This is going to be I'll expect I'm going to lose 30% of my patrons right off the bat, but you know what, it's worth it to do this because I think we need to show these companies that they can't just deplatform people who are on our side at a whim, and that's that they have to have consequences for that, and that's what's going to change the culture, guys. That is what's going to change the culture 100%. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you those who said that they're going to be moving over with me. If you haven't gone to my Patreon before, go to the Free Starters, freestarter/project/help-John-Del-Arose change the culture, or just look up my name, John Del Arose, on there. You know what? I'm producing a lot of content. I'm high energy. I provide what I say I'm going to provide, and you know what? We're gonna make things really great again in our country. So thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys soon.